don't know, I am Brooke Brimm. I'm the founder of the Vegan Soul Food Group and also the brand Vegan Soul Foodie. I am a minister of mind, body, and spirit. So I believe in food, feeding our soul, but not in a way that feels cumbersome and feels like a drudgery and feels like something that's not enjoyable. So that is my philosophy, is to make food whole, enjoyable, and nutritious, okay? And encouraging and inspiring. So what I'm going to start with is, in this pan here, I'm going to saute some onions and garlic because I'm going to make the wet ingredients for our seitan. And we want to get this one started pretty early because it has to cook for about an hour and a half. So I'm just rolling off the
oh, that's interesting.
it is a garlic press. It comes with a little press piece here. And this part rolls it. There, rolls the garlic off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and press it and put that into my pan. So this is what I'm going to do, is caramelize this. I'm going to let it sit here. Caramelize it so it's nice and moist when we make it, take it inside of our mixture. Then I'm going to move over. But before I do that, back here, I'm going to get these going. So these are my sweet potatoes for my candied yams. I'm just going to prick those and I'm going to steam them back in the back of my kitchen in my steamer. Okay, so let me get that started. Now, in your recipe card, you may have noticed that it says you could boil the sweet potatoes. I like to boil them or steam them. I like to steam them because it's so much easier. I don't have to think about it again. But, you know, traditionally my mother taught me to boil them, but I like to steam them because I don't have to think about it again. So I'm just going to steam those until they're about al dente. Not all the way, but mostly cooked. I'm just going to make a half a box of macaroni salad. So your recipe card does ask for a whole box, but this is like if you're doing it for the holiday, like for Easter. But tonight we're just going to make it. It's just 4 of us. So I'm only going to do a half a box. Okay, so just keep that in mind. When that water gets, I salted the water. Once it gets boiling, I will put the macaroni noodles in. I'm still sauteing my onions and my garlic here, but I'm going to go ahead and start my ham wet ingredients that are going to go in the blender. Okay, so I have a medium onion somewhere. Okay. Oh, I did that. Okay. I have a medium onion and garlic. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay. And so then I have soy sauce, organic, two tablespoons of organic soy sauce. And I have to test these things to make sure that I'm doing what I want to do because I have a lot of brown things already measured out. So this is organic soy sauce. You could use tamari sauce. You could use liquid aminos. It's all about, you know, what you want. You could use coconut aminos. But this is basically just a soy sauce or soy sauce substitute kind of thing that you want there. You want that nice saltiness. The next thing I have is a can of black-eyed peas. And you could use, I'm going to do it this way so that you can see it better. You could use what I used to do, what I've done in the past for a long time, is I would take my black-eyed peas and I would pressure cook them, dried ones, and I would pressure cook them, and then I would use them for various things over time because I didn't want to use the cans. But now they say that they're non-BPA free. I mean, they're non-BPA, so I went back to using cans. So this is a can of black-eyed peas. You want a full can of that. Then I'm going to use the maple syrup. I'm using quite a bit of liquid smoke in this because it is a faux ham. Usually I'm not a super big proponent of liquid smoke, but you use it for what you use it for. So this is ham. It's important. You want to get that nice smoky, salty, hammy flavor. So that's why I'm using so much liquid smoke. So that is, the next thing I have is grapeseed oil. And I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. So I used part of it to saute my vegetables, and the rest of it I'm putting inside of here. And then I'm going to use a beet. And this is mostly so that we have, yeah, there we go, thank you. So that we just have a little bit of a pink color because it is a ham, right? So this is mostly for color, but you know, a nice raw beet is very nutritious, a good thing for you. So you're not going to go wrong with using a beet. Okay? So let's see here. Our vegetables are about sauteed. I would like to see them a little more caramelized. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll get back to that until I feel like it's nice and caramelized. Look at that. Take the dry ingredients for my seitan. So I have beet powder again. So we use fresh beets, and we're also going to use beet powder. I have some bacon seasoning, and I'm going to show that to you. This is the bacon seasoning, and it is a Torilla hickory smoked yeast. Okay, and then I have granulated garlic, and I have vital wheat gluten powder there, and so that is those are my dry ingredients. And I'm going to go ahead and put those inside to whisk them together. So nice and smoothly even together. There's a little bit of beet lumps. And I'm going to show you the beet powder that I use too, just in case you wondered about that. So that is the beet powder that I use. I think I got it from Costco. I use it in a lot of things for color. And of course, it's great in smoothies. You know, it's also very nutritious, which is great. Okay, so now our caramelized onions look really good. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in. And place the lid on my blender. And I'm going to put it on the sauce button. And just let it go. Now, you can see how pink this is. And it's pink like that because of the fresh beet and all the yummy, well, mostly it's the pink, the beet that makes it that pink. And then I also have a pink powder here, and I'm going to mix the two of them together. go ahead and freeze your excess wet mixture and use it again when you want to make this again. So I'm just going to knead it for a little bit. It's the consistency that it should be, sort of like bread dough. When you make seitan and you want to make it like juicy or really soft, which sometimes we want to do that if we want to make chicken nuggets or, you know, like want to make it like chicken, then you don't need it that much. But if you want to make it dense, like you're going to slice it like ham, then go ahead and knead it a little bit longer, like I'm doing now. Some people say 10 minutes. I don't find that you need to knead it for 10 minutes, but it's not going to hurt it. It's nice and moist from the sauteed vegetables that I put inside in the oil. So it's not going to stiffen up too much. Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to shape it like a ham. I think that looks like a ham. I'm going to take some kitchen twine and I'm going to tie this up so that it holds its shape. Because if you don't tie it up or put it in some kind of cheesecloth or something like that, it will still taste good, but it's not going to give you, it's not going to keep that shape that you want. So that's why we're tying it up. Okay. So that is my tied up ham. So we're going to take our broth and do the whole thing again, right? I'm going to set this aside just right there. And I'm going to take my broth. I'm going to keep that top on. It's not going to hurt it. Beets, onion, making a flavor block broth so that our ham has a nice little broth to simmering. And you want this to simmer. You do not want it to boil. You can bring it to a boil and then keep it on a low simmer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I'm going to take my little garlic and do the same thing again. 5 cloves of garlic. The maple syrup, 1/4 cup of maple syrup. That's your liquid smoke, 1/4 cup. I already measured out 8 cups of water here. Now I'm going to put this on the back stove. Ham, I'm going to go ahead and place it inside. It's all wrapped up. Right? I'm going to put it inside of my broth here. Let that get up to a boil. And then when it gets that up to a boil, then I will simmer it for an hour or so. I'm going to process the vegetables together for the greens and the macaroni because we're using the same vegetables. Okay, so the greens ask for 1 onion, 5 cloves of garlic, a turnip, because we're reducing this recipe because it's just a little bit of us eating today. It's also asking for 5 mini peppers, which I've already deveined and de-seeded. 3 stalks of celery and some shallots. So I'm going to go ahead and roughly chop my onion. And this is the one for, this is for greens. into the food processor. And then we have our 5 mini colored peppers. And you won't see me using green peppers ever because someone once told me that they're not ripe, and I thought about it and I was like, oh, you're right, they're not ripe, so I don't use green peppers ever. I only use tri-colored peppers. My macaroni calls for celery. I'm going to use the rest of that. Break it up a little bit so it makes it easier. It also calls for mini peppers, and it calls for an onion too. It usually calls for shallot. Okay, but I'm using an onion. Sweet onion's okay. Purple onion would be fine. Shallots, they're all kind of mild, kind of sweet. Oh, okay, we're kind of cutting it close with the safety, but I think it should be okay. Put these onions in. I'm going to take my Instapot liner because that's how I cook my greens, in my Instapot. Then I'm going to take some olive oil. I'm okay with the bigger pieces of the vegetables going into the greens. I don't want them going into my macaroni. More veggies in the greens than the macaroni. I take this and I put this on saute on my Instapot, which I'm going to do now. So you don't see that sauteer is not doing anything yet, but it will in a minute. But it's basically sauteing the vegetables. And I don't cook my greens with any water at all. It's all from the liquid that comes from the vegetables themselves. So I use very watery vegetables, and they have lots of flavor, lots of aromatics, and it really, you know, makes a difference in the greens. You get no water at all. It's just all flavor. So I'm going to press this garlic and inside the pot. So just kind of stir that around and waiting for it to kind of heat up. Turnips we're not going to be using just yet. We'll use them towards the end, but I'm going to go ahead and start processing them. I mean, this one turnip. We're not doing two because it's just a small family tonight. And this is my dinner. But my vegetables are starting to saute. They're starting to make a little noise, which means they're starting to saute, and which also means they're making liquid. Now these turnips, I'll set them aside, and we'll put those in later. So as you can see, our vegetables are in here doing their thing. There's some big pieces, some little pieces. I also have a little tomato here. Now, I like to use the kind of tomato that's really juicy in the refrigerator that I can't use for a sandwich or anything anymore. If I don't have a tomato like that on hand, I don't put tomato inside of my greens. It's really just like, oh, I have this juicy tomato, and so I'm going to use it. It also helps, you don't have to throw the tomatoes out. Like if you have these really juicy tomatoes, you can always think of putting them in greens or sauces or soups and things like that. Like you don't have to throw them out if you can't use them for slicing anymore. Okay, so I'm going to put a little salt in it. And the salt is going to help to draw out more liquid. So I put the salt in, stirring it around, drawing out liquid. Put a little pepper in. And I'm going I don't usually use liquid smoke in my greens, but when I do a recipe, I like to tell people about it because I don't know how far from smoked meat they are. So for me, I am very, very far away from smoked meat in my greens, like 30 years. So I don't need that smoky flavor in my greens, but some people do. So that's why I put the liquid smoke in, just for your benefit. But usually at home, I don't do that. These greens, they say they're clean and ready to eat. I believe them, and I do not wash them. I just put them in. But I put them in batches. Because I'm still trying to get liquid out of this. So I want them to cook a little bit because I can't put the lid on until I'm satisfied that I have enough liquid inside of its own, its own juices. I add a little bit more salt to draw out the liquid. Just to give it a little bit more intense flavor, I use this mushroom seasoning here, and I'll show you the package in a minute. So this is mushroom seasoning that I get from the Asian market. It's just mushroom powder, salt, mushroom extract, vitamin B, and calcium. I have some beet tops if I've oversalted, which I did not, but I'm still going to put my beet tops in. I'm putting beet tops in because I have them. And I just like to mix all kinds of greens, hearty greens. Since I added in more of the greens, I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the mushroom seasoning. Or some more, maybe not the rest. There's liquid forming in the bottom. Can you see that liquid? Put some more pepper in, and I'm ready to go and turk these to the back and let them cook on their own. Because there's plenty enough liquid in this now. So it has its own. Once I cover it up, I can trust that it won't burn. It's only going to just make more liquid. So there we go. So I turn off the saute and put it on pressure cook low for 21 minutes. So I have fresh blueberries today. Some days I use frozen. Today I have fresh. Take them, put them inside of my pan. Okay, so I'm going to use some sugar, organic sugar. A cup of that cornstarch. Here's my cinnamon nutmeg. Now, with this, you can choose whatever. If you like more cinnamon, use more cinnamon. If you like more nutmeg, use more nutmeg. I tend to like more nutmeg, so do what you like. Okay, cornstarch. And I'm going to mix it. Cover those berries. And this is a berry. Blueberries are like a superfood, antioxidants. You definitely want to get these kind of nice fresh berries into your body. You can go pick them in Georgia. If you're in Georgia, we could pick them in June. You could pick strawberries in April. If you're in, they're in New Jersey, places like that, you can go pick them nice and fresh, freeze them. Or you can just use the frozen ones, but they're still a good superfood to have in your body. And I'm a big proponent of cooking with superfoods. Like, you may not be a total vegan or 100% plant-based, but it's still, you can add all kinds of wonderful superfoods into your body, and it's going to have great benefits for you. Imperial used to have a little lactose in it. Now it is lactose free. If you can read that, it says lactose free, and it's very, very inexpensive. So it's 88 cents as compared to the plant-based butter that is $4, $3. Imperial is still good and it's lactose free. So keep that in mind when you're looking for the less expensive options. So I'm going to put the butter and let me taste it. Okay. And the powdered sugar, a cup of that. And then the egg replacement. And I want to show you what egg replacement that I use. I have a whole host of different ones that I use. This is what I use today. It's called Energy. So I'm going to show it to you that way. Energy. And then I'm going to show it to you this way. Energy. Egg replacer. Okay? And this is it. I already put it together according to the box. So I put my egg replacer in there. You could use aquafaba. You could use applesauce. You could use, I wouldn't use Just Egg because Just Egg has a little onion powder in it. So it's going to make it a little savory. I did try the Simply Egg when I was in Washington, D.C. It was not good as a scrambled egg, but it might be good for baking. I didn't check to see if it had onion in it or not. And I'm just going to mix them because the butter's pretty soft. If the butter were not as soft, you would probably use your blender. So I'm just going to mixing that together. See, now it's becoming like butter-like. Yeah. Pretty soft. Now it says sift cornmeal, flour. See how I did that? Pretty easy. Okay, so it says sift together flour, cornmeal, and then we'll also add in the milk. So we'll sift that in. And we'll add in some milk. Now what I made is buttermilk. And it looks like it's separated because it curdled. And that's what you want, right? I made buttermilk and the directions are there. You just use your vegan milk and a little white vinegar and see how it curdled. I don't know if you can see the curdling, but that made a nice buttermilk there. Okay. Well, that was some. Okay. So I'm gonna mix these together. Let me just keep sifting it through. I don't bake a whole heck of a lot because we don't eat that many sweets here. We mostly eat fruit. But, so when I choose to bake, I like to do nice, easy things like this. This is super easy. Just sifting it through so it's light, nice and light. Mix around, see how I'm going. I'm gonna set this aside for a minute. Put some more milk in. See what's happening. Yeah. easy. So you kind of have like a sweet dough. All right, so I'm gonna take this, pour it over the top. Smooth it out. Easy peasy. I'm gonna take these ingredients back here. So I have my vegetables in here. I'm gonna take my chickpeas. I'm gonna start my seafood macaroni salad. And we're gonna drain these. Put them inside with the vegetables. And we're going to blend them with peppers. This is red peppers, which are also pimentos, same thing. Relish. So a half a cup of mayonnaise. There. This is Hellmann's vegan mayonnaise. And I really want it to be melded together. Like tuna. So there we go. I have made sort of like a tuna salad that I'm going to add inside of seafood macaroni. So I'm adding the vegan shrimp. I like this brand with the little crawfish. Like they have a little vegan crawfish one, but I can't find it anymore. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just already done for you. And it's a little less rubbery. Sometimes this brand is a little rubbery. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's made from konjac root. Konjac root is used in Asia for weight control, things like that. I'm going to saute it first. Give it like a seafood flavor. A little bit of oil. Put my shrimp in. Now, for this, you could do a couple different things. I'm using a little Old Bay seasoning because I want that seafood taste. So you could use Lap Your Mamas, you could use a Cajun seafood type of thing, or you could go ahead and use the Maryland seafood type of thing, which is the Old Bay. And you just kind of saute that up. Some nori sheets that I'm going to blend down into dust. That's going to give it more seafood flavor, okay? I use my magic bullet to make some nori dust. You could use nori komi fukaki, you know, which has other seasonings in it. I like the nori sheets. So what I usually do is take that and add it to my tuna. Just mix that around. that seafood flavor. Ooh, a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and add the tuna. Mix it. And now I'm going to add the shrimp. Now, if you wanted to add more color to this, you could add peas. You could add carrots, more carrots, like some carrots, no carrots in it. You could add carrots. You could add basil or parsley. It is very flavorful. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to put a little saran wrap on it right now until we're ready to serve it. I'm going to put it in the fridge so it's a little chilled. Taking off the skin of these sweet potatoes, and it's pretty warm, so keep that in mind. Now this dish I veganized from my mother's original recipe. She likes to use butter and pancake syrup. I'm using maple syrup. And of course, vegan margarine. Start with the margarine. Maple syrup. It says 1/4 of a cup. This can't be 1/4 of a cup, so we have to look for some more. Pretty sure that's not a 1/4 cup. Thank you. Thank you. There's 1/4 of a cup. Brown sugar. Cinnamon and nutmeg. This is lemon extract and vanilla extract. Okay. Let that all act happy together. While that's doing that, I will take these potatoes and start cutting them. And that's it. I'm just going to cut them like that. Well, this one I'm going to give a little bit more. Just put them in slices. Put them in here. These are al dente. They're not like super mushy. There you go. So just let that kind of boil. So the greens are great. See? 21 minutes in the pressure cooker. You see those beautiful beet tops in there. Celery. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is take my turnips and put them over the top, and cover it back up. Let it steam because I don't like my turnips too mushy. I'm gonna put it back over there for a few minutes. See how these are doing. See how it's become liquefied? The sugar, the butter, the syrup, it's all become like liquefied now. So all you want to do is just keep turning them. So they're cooking the rest of the way. Inside of this yummy candied bath that you made for them. Okay? It's a little dip just for when you're, you know, having people to wait on Easter dinner. You know, you can serve this with crudité. So you just take a little, I'm gonna go ahead and chop the spinach up first. You can use frozen spinach. It's gonna be a different consistency. I like to choose fresh whenever I can. So I'm just gonna chop this down. Chop down my fresh spinach. Like I said, you could put it in a food processor, it would be easier. So I have some vegan sour cream. This is Kite Hill. You can really get some really decent dairy-free options. So this is Kite Hill sour cream. And then I'm just going to take my spinach in there. Then I have some Coors vegetable dip, vegan ingredients. Put a little dip in there and start mixing it together. And it's really by taste. You could use the, I like to use the garden dip because then it gives you a couple little vegetables too, like dehydrated peas and peppers. You can add a little mayonnaise if you want. So I had some very ripe bananas. I had these overripe bananas last night. Put them inside the freezer, peeled them first, and they make a great ice cream, which I'm getting ready to show you. Just kind of break it up. Frozen bananas. Put it on your high power blender or your food processor. Okay, there's my ice cream, just from bananas. And they taste really yummy. The candy goes all through the sweet potato. Put our sweet potatoes in. They look really good. So I'm gonna put this on here for our ham. Okay. I do believe that I can show you a couple pieces ready to go. So this is it. I'm gonna slice it. So I'll tell you, dip your pieces inside of this and then take them here and fry each one. and flip it. And it really is okay that it fries the rest of the way, that cooks the rest of the way in the pan. The original recipe asked for me to have it all the way done after about 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes of gentle cooking, and then take and glaze each piece like so. But your seitan is still going to cook fried in the pan like this, so you're okay. But I definitely recommend go ahead and use the 2 hours. Like cook yours for 2 hours or even longer if you have it. So we have some ham here. So you can see exactly the way it's supposed to really go, okay? So you take and you cut this off. And you can see that this is definitely firming up because you want it to look firm like that. Then you take it, you put it inside of your glaze. Let it soak off a little bit. And then into the fire. Into your bath. Let the water fall, the liquid fall off and into put a little macaroni salad on the plate. Some of these yummy, colorful greens. And you see how much juice is in the greens. That didn't come from any juice that I added. That is from its own juices. They're very, very juicy. And some candied yams. So there is all of that. There's our cobbler. Ice cream. So I'll put a little bit of cobbler in here. Beautiful. It's boiling hot, but you can see how beautiful the cornstarch made it nice and yummy. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my ice cream. Place it on top. At some point, there we go. And there you go. So you got your ice cream, your cobbler, whole meal for Thanksgiving, for Easter. Easter ham.
That is a beautiful plate, Brooke.
Thank you. We did it, 2 hours. Now I know my family is ready to eat.